Welcome to Comfort Habit number 2. We are going live on Instagram and TikTok as well. So while we wait for that to load, if you watch the prep show, then you know what's about to happen. We are going to talk about martial arts, and we are going to talk about things that people aren't going to be comfortable with hearing. All right? I got the nunchucks out just so I can give you guys just something to look at, rather. So I'm going to glove up while I talk. All right, so this ain't gonna be like a major demonstration live or YouTube as always, but we are going to talk about the human body before we even talk about nunchucks. And again, before we even get deeply started, please don't attempt any of this shit at home. All right. Also, I'm a little tired from the con, so if you're here, thank you. I will not be inviting guests up because I don't know if the damn phones are gonna allow it, but if I get the chance to read your comments and questions, I will try to answer them. I don't know what that does. Anyway, Instagram has frozen. So that's a problem. Okay, Instagram is back. All right, so we're going to talk about martial arts. We're going to talk about some uncomfortable things. And we're going to talk about some realities of martial arts. The shit that everybody who's on social media tends to leave off. All right? Because a lot of people understand this and a lot of people don't. Doesn't really matter how many fights you've been in. What matters is how many more fights are down the road. Alright? And when I say that, it's because I had a little disagreement with one of my nephews who's been in more than 5 fights. And loves to point that out. Alright, so one, age and experience will always be your teacher. He doesn't believe that. That's his problem, not mine. Alright? And two, pick your battles carefully or you'll be picking yourself up off the ground more times than you can count. Now, about fighting, and this is really, really important, especially since Instagram is paused. If you're on Instagram, whatever you missed, you can come back here. I do not know how to unpause Instagram, but Instagram is definitely paused. It's still paused. It's reconnecting. All right, so we're not gonna worry about Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you're late, go to TikTok. And if you're on TikTok, stay where you are. And later on tonight, you can watch this entire martial art lesson. All right. The most important thing you need to understand about fighting is that your ability to fight is only meaning something to you. It doesn't mean anything to anybody else. No matter what anybody else says, the proof is always going to be in the pudding. Your actions are always going to speak louder than your words. And if somebody hits you in the mouth and they drop you, you should probably shut the fuck up. All right? I'm not trying to be an asshole about this shit, but this is how reality works. If you can't take a hit to the face, you probably shouldn't be bragging and boasting. If you can take a hit to the face, you still probably shouldn't be bragging and boasting because you just ain't got hit by the right person. And that's where people fail to understand how things work. A lot of people don't understand how age and experience works. Us old cats, us Generation Xers and a little bit older, we're a lot tougher than we look. We've been around. We're the ones that taught y'all how to fight by making mistakes. And so that y'all young people understand this, you young. You're stronger than me. You're tougher than me? Probably not. But you're damn sure stronger than me. You might even be faster than me. But that does not mean that you are going to beat my ass. Because I've been fighting since before you existed. While you were still a baby in Testicle City. Whether you were a man or a woman, we all came out of Testicle City and Ovary Town. When they had that little love fest and we were created, that's how you got here. That does not mean you were born with the inimity of being Charles motherfucking Xavier, and you can read my fighting skills and my fighting styles with every step that I take. And I say this to everybody. You can take this with a grain of salt, or you can learn the easy way, or you can reopen the School of Hard Knocks. One, and the most important thing, everyone can be beaten at least once. You are not going to win them all. But how you recover and how you take that loss is going to make you or break you. If you get your ass beaten and you never fight again, there's nothing wrong with that. But then you know where your limits were. Alright? Now, I know I have limits only because of old age and a hip that was being replaced. But just because I had a hip replacement doesn't mean that I can't beat anybody that comes at my door looking for a pain in the ass. Because I'll damn sure give them one. Like I said, I send warnings, not invitations. Now, Yeah, I can't do wushu anymore. I can't jump through the air and fly and do all that shit. But here's the thing. You ain't using none of that shit in real fights anyway. You're not using that shit in the UFC. You're not using that shit in wrestling. You're not using that shit on the streets. Alright? You can save all that fancy shit for the movies because that's exactly what it's for. It is for the movies. The day I get to do a reverse tornado kick and nail somebody and not miss or get hit in the nuts, that was God. That was all God. Because a reverse tornado kick has many different ways to counter that shit. And the number one thing is just to step the fuck back. Step back, boom. Side step, one way or the other. If that person doing this reverse tornado kick, let me refresh your memory so y'all might not know what it means. If you duck that, or you sidestep that shit, I'm open field. Because as you see, there was no guards up, right? I'll try with the guards up. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't look right. But here's it with the guards up. Alright? I'm in the air though. Still defenseless. Still defenseless. You sidestep, wham! Drive one right down the middle. Go on sleep. You sidestep, wham! Drive one right down the middle. You can hit me in the sternum, hit me in the throat. I'm going to the ground. Why am I going to the ground? Because I cannot defy gravity. Alright? There are things in physics that the human body can and cannot do. Now, you can practice this shit all day. Does not make you a superhero. Does not make you a superstar. And if you're going to be in movies, the stunt team is the people that make you look good. Don't ever forget that. If I'm supposed to do a reverse tornado kick and you're supposed to eat it, you're going to be in the spot where it looks like you got hit. That's what the camera tricks are for. Now, in reality, if I'm going to do a reverse tornado kick, I'm not expecting you to stay there. If you're stupid enough to stay there, yay me. But the reality of fighting is you're going to get hit, and if you get back up, the fight's going to continue. If you can't get back up, and depending on who you're fighting, the fight is going to continue. So somebody might bludgeon the shit out your ass just because you thought you was a badass. Like, oh, he thought he was a badass. Tried to reverse tornado kick, and I fucked this shit up. It happens. Trust me when I tell you it happens. If you think that you're going to reverse tornado kick somebody in the midst of a fight, you got a world of hurt coming to you. If you think you're going to tornado kick somebody in the midst of a fight, you got a world of hurt coming to you. And you don't have to believe me. I don't care. Go out and try it yourself. Please don't go out and try it yourself. I mean, if you got the training and you think you can nail somebody with it, knock yourself the fuck out. I'm not going to be held responsible for your own actions because actions speak louder than words. And the first thing I said at the beginning of this video was please don't try that shit at home. Alright? The human body will always be the world's most dangerous machine. That is not just a quote from Fatal Fury. It is a fact. Without the human body, your weapons can't just fly in the air. Case in point. It ain't coming back, right? That's the reality of fighting. You can be good with these, but you gotta be good to get somebody with them. You gotta hit them. I see you. I'm just trying to get this thing over and then we can have a question and answer stuff, and Instagram is back. Instagram, you were frozen for quite some time. Now, if I'm throwing a basic front kick, boom, and I can control your range, I got you dead to rights. I got you all dead. Now, if you're taller than me, I gotta work harder. If you're stronger than me, I gotta work harder. If you're faster than me, I damn sure gotta work harder. So, two of them things I ain't really worried about. I'm not really worried about you being taller or stronger than me. I am worried about you being faster than me because I'm old. And though I can take some hits, I'm not trying to get hit. Or let me rephrase that. I can take being beat up. I'm just not trying to lose the fucking fight. Understand that shit? And you're going to get beat up during the fight. Doesn't mean you're going to lose. It just means you're going to get beat up. Alright? There's two different times of beat up. When you get beat up and you're fracked up, where you can't even get up, and you're done, and they're still stomping a mud hole in your ass, now they're getting you to the point where you're getting beat up literally. But if you're in a fight, you take one, he take one, you're still getting beat up. You're just not getting beat up to the dominant force of being beat the fuck up. Sorry, try not to cuss, lost my words, didn't think before I spoke. You're doing combinations. You want combinations where your body and your eyesight rarely leave your opponent. So if you bust one of these round kicks or outside to inside crescent kick, you want to be able to have something right back at the firing bar. So this is an outside to inside crescent kick, but I need a recovery kick in case you move. So if I do this, boom, and you move, I need to be able to do this. Now, a lot of people are going to say, you want to do this instead, so watch carefully. Boom, boom. Well, if you missed and you moved out the way and I missed both of them, then I'm going to catch one to the face. You understand? Backing up, bam! You know, because blocking and counter still works, regardless of what style you're fighting and regardless of what style you're using. If I throw this round kick, boom, and I miss both of them, I'm going to get hit, especially if you continue to back up and I stopped. But you only like take one step, two step, strike. You know, you have to understand how fighting works. A lot of people that we follow on social media forgets to tell y'all about how fighting actually works. Because no one's going to sit there and let you beat their ass. No one's going to sit there and let you beat them. And if you're already beating them, okay, the fight's already engaged, everything's already in place, everything is already going. Now you see the environment we're in. We're in the backyard. Are there weapons in this backyard? Yes, there are. What are their weapons? I got chairs, I got a big wheel, a little lawnmower, a little picnic table. I got some garden stuff over here. I got a bird feeder, a fucking bird bath. There's nothing out here I can't use to hurt anybody out here. You understand that? My job of defending myself is meaning I still got to get through your defenses to stop you from hurting me. Don't always work that way. If you got a really good defense and my offense sucks, then you got a fighting chance. If I got a really good defense but no offense, I got to keep protecting myself, but I'm eventually going to run out of things to do. Because you can only block so many times before one of them gets in. So I need to know how to be very versatile in my blocking and my defending. All right? So my boom, boom, my counter strikes. Let me go from the side. So this is Kung Fu. They're throwing a right jab. So I'm striking. It's also Kempo. So if I strike, I strike. Understand? Now, the other way is I block, I break, I strike. Because that's a whole lot more convenient to break that opponent's elbow and then strike them in the throat. Or break their elbow and then strike them in the rib. Whichever part I can get to first. But understand, this person that's throwing this punch here, that does not mean they can't still throw a kick at the same damn time. You know, I can throw this and I'm over here, but they can probably angle the kick. I got their arm, so they can turn me in by pulling and throw a knee, or they can throw a kick to get me off of them before I break their arm. And they need to be fast and they need to know what they're doing. Now, I'm going to say this, and I hope y'all all take this to heart. Do not get stuck in one martial art. Do not get stuck in one martial art. Be very versatile in the stuff you choose to learn. Be very versatile at practicing. And when you are in a gym or a dojo, I'm going to say this, no one's going to like it, I don't give a damn. I'm going to say it anyway. Spar with everybody. Because you're not going to learn. If you don't spar with somebody shorter than you, you're not going to learn how to combat somebody shorter than you. Now, I'm not talking about like sparring with kids. Unless this kid's in your class and he's like elevated to a level where he's got like a black belt. And if the kid's like 2, don't spar with a 2-year-old. They'll fuck you up. Anyway, that was a joke. But they will mess you up because they don't have enough energy or enough capacity to know that they should probably stop. Plus, your nether regions is always their target, especially if you're a man. But anybody in your class, from body-wise, all right? This is where shit gets complicated, so this is where you need to pay attention. Put a pin in this shit and remember it. I'm 125 pounds. I'm going to go spar that 210-pound guy. I'm going to go spar that 145-pound guy. I'm going to go spar with everybody in there that's above my weight class and below my weight class. Unless, again, that person is a child. Unless it's a really big child. You know, like if it's like a 14-year-old and he's like this big, he's sparable. He's going to make mistakes because he's a child, so you better be a good sport when he breaks your nose. Or when he busts your nose. It does happen. But you know, you have to understand how these things work. If you're going to do any kind of martial arts, any kind of things, you need to be well-rounded. Whatever class you're taking, it needs to have people in there that are willing to spar with you. And I'm not saying that they don't spar with you, that that's not, like they have the prerogative and the right to say no. but you need to spar with people your size, and you need to spar with people not your size, because it's going to teach you in the long run the differences of fighting people inside and outside of the streets and in the dojo and everywhere else that you can possibly need to know how to fight. You can't just spar with somebody your size. You got to go up a scale and down a scale, and you got to work that shit out. You got to go up a weight class, down a weight class, because this is how you learn, all right? This is how you learn what you can and can't do, all right? Now, just because you can't do it with somebody, but it still gives you combat knowledge on how to fight a different person of the same size and stature. And the reason why I said that, if I'm fighting somebody 6'8", it's a tall dude. He's got range, So if he's 6'8", and his fist can touch me and his body's way over there because he has long-ass arms, I gotta know how to control that range. See, if I can control one person who's 6'8", I can pretty much control them all. I know you're all thinking that's some bullshit. Go spar with somebody a little taller than you. See if they know how to control range. I did a video about this a couple of weeks back, maybe a couple of days back. My days are still jumbled because I'm still recovering from the con. But there was a young lady who was, I want to say she was Korean. Let's just be politically correct. She was an Asian woman going against a Latin woman in the cage. The Latin woman was a grappler. The Asian woman was a striker. All right? But the Asian woman didn't know how to control her own range, and she was way taller. She had to be about 5'8", while the girl she was fighting was between 5'5" and 5'3". All right? That's why I said you got to be able to control range. Now, when I say control range, I don't just mean your range. I mean everybody's range. If you're fucking 5'6", I'm 5'3". So it's only 3 differences between us, just 3 little inches. It could be your arms, it could be your legs. 9 times out of 10, if I'm 5'3" and you're 5'6", it's because of your height. So you either got a big torso or you got long legs. That's it. Understand how body mechanics work. You have to understand how body mechanics work. If you're throwing a punch and I'm doing kung fu because I'm in this Wing Chun stance, boom, boom, my block and my strike should be immediate, or block break strike. If I'm going to do a Kenpo strike, but I'm still in a Wushu stance, it's a Wing Chun stance, excuse me. So they're throwing a right jab or a left jab, but more likely to be a left jab because it's coming to the right side of my face. Crack, I'm going to tap on the metacarpals, boom, and then I'm going to strike again. Or crack, break, snap. I'm going to do some shit that's going to be perfected. Shit that I have been training to do. Instagram has paused again. I don't know what the hell is happening with Instagram. It's showing my symbol, but it's not showing me. But it still says live, so I'm not going to touch it. But Instagram, in like about an hour or two, you can go to Kung Fu Africa #2 and go see what you missed. I don't want to stop the lives because of a glitch, all right? Maybe Instagram banned me, I don't know. Anyway, the bottom line is really simple. When you inspire with people of different sizes and weight classes, it gives you experience so that when you have to fight someone of a smaller stature, of a bigger stature, you'll have enough experience on how to defend yourself against a different sized opponent. Like I said, I'm 5'3.5". So I'm a really short man. I'm a really, really short man. All right? Does that mean I can't beat people, or does that mean I have the possibility of beating people? It means I have the possibility of beating people. And the thing is, a lot of people rely on their size for victory. No, you can get lucky and have a good victory, or you can be skillful and have a good victory. That's going to be a choice you're going to have to make. But when the fight starts, you're not going to have none of that shit in your mind. The only thing that's going to be in your mind is, I got to win, I got to survive. Now, here's the thing. You're fighting for a win, then you're fighting in a professional setting. You're fighting to survive, you're fighting in the streets. There is minimum difference between the two. Because when you're fighting for a win, that means you're getting paid. All right? And if you ain't getting paid, somebody's getting paid. But when you're fighting in the streets, you're fighting to survive. So there are no things bounding you to following certain rules and aspects. All right? Now, let's engage this, because a couple of videos have come across my TikTok, and so I'm going to engage this, and I'm going to piss everybody off. So before I do, let me apologize for what's about to fly out my mouth. The race of a human being does not make them unbeatable. Might make them dangerous, but it doesn't make them unbeatable. So regardless of that person's race, they're human. If you can fight one person, you can fight them all. Keep that shit in mind. Because if you think that somebody can beat your ass just because they are a different race than you, or because the reputation of their race makes them superior, hey, your race can be superior, but you might not be that member of your race that is superior. I understand that shit. No one's above an ass whooping. Nobody. You just got to be prepared for where you at and when it happens. You know, if a person is bigger than me coming at me, I got to hurt them. Do I want to hurt them? Nope. Are they gonna laugh when I tell them I don't want to hurt them? Yep. Because it's done happened to me all my life. Hey, little man, want to rumble? Hey, I don't want to hurt you. Yeah, right. You can't hurt me. You 5 foot nothing. You're 100 and nothing. And when I'm standing over top of them, or when I have them in a chokehold, my knee in their back, surprise, David killed Goliath, motherfucker. He was a short man too. Never let your size give you false courage or false hope. I'm a small guy. I don't have false courage. I don't have false hope. What I do have is some skills that better not let me down when I need them the most. And if you didn't hear that, let me say that again. That better not let me down when I need them the most. And this is how you understand who's a martial artist and who's not. All right? If you only go to the dojo and train and you don't train when you go home, you're a part-timer. All right? Now, granted, life gets in the way, so there are some loopholes in my philosophy. Because we all got to work to make a living unless you're born rich. And if you ain't born rich, you got a little bit of leeway with me because you got to get up and go to work. You got to eat. You got to wash. You got to do all the shit you normally do. And in that case, when you go home, depending on how far you have to drive from your dojo, put in 10 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 2. But put some extra shit in there. Because I say this all the time. What you put in is what you're going to get out. You're doing this every day. Okay, I'm going home. Oh, I wasn't finished. Test time. I broke that block of wood. I broke that brick. I broke that block of wood. Okay. For all martial arts schools and purposes, good for you. A human being hits back. They're not going to let you hit them. You are going to work hard to get through their defenses, to do what is necessary to win or survive. Now again, if you're in a fighting setting, a professional setting, you're fighting to win. If you're in the streets, you are fighting to survive, which goes back to if you spar people in the dojo of different sizes and different stature, it's going to prepare you for people in the streets of different sizes and different statures. Because I'm going to say this, and I hope y'all take this properly. Weight classes only count in the professional setting. Everybody's bigger than me. Everybody. Which means I have to work really, really hard to make sure that they don't hurt me. All right? Doesn't matter what the race is. If they're coming at me with some BS and they want to hurt me, I got to make damn sure that I make it so they can't only not hurt me, but they ain't going to hurt no damn body else. And they're going to think that shit through. Now, y'all can take that any way you want. You can take that any way you want, but here's the reality of fighting. Getting hit sucks. Getting kicked sucked. Some people live for that shit. They might live for the experience, but they don't want to live for the pain. All right? I don't want to get hit in the face. That shit sucks. I definitely don't want to get kicked in the face. That's why they teach you how to block. But you need to learn more than regular boxing blocks. You need to learn some Muay Thai blocks with those elbows, Kempo blocks where it's strike with the knuckles. You need to learn shit. You need to be well-rounded and shit. Yeah, take capoeira. Take some shit that you don't think that you can do or that you're never going to use, but you're never going to know. You're never going to know. Take, for instance, take Drunken Master. If you can find someone who can teach you legit Drunken Master, not that little bit of shit that I know, but enough of it so that you can use it. All right? I know a pence and he's worth of certain martial arts, but I also know when I can use them and when I can't. Learn what martial arts work better as counter tactics. I insult BJJ all the time only for one reason. I suck at it. Now, Jiu-Jitsu and BJJ, they pretty much are kind of the same thing, except for BJJ, you're on the ground most of it. Now, when I took BJJ in the Army, it wasn't a choice. It was an order, and that's what they taught us in Delta. We took Taekwondo and Bravo. I already knew Taekwondo and some other various martial arts, so I was ahead of the game of the young kids coming in. BJJ I never took until I got in the Army. That's when I realized 2 things. 1, I don't have ground game. 2, I suck at BJJ. So in the instant of learning, because they always put me against everybody that was bigger than me, I have no ground game. And every time I was with the biggest guy, he just flung me into the air. I landed on my feet like a cat. When he was on top of me, I headbutted him in the nuts. Alright? Not gonna lie about that shit. I'm sure he wasn't really friendly after that with me. Because he's like, yo, you can't be doing that shit. I said, motherfucker, I'm a street fighter. If you're on top of me and you outweigh me and the only thing I can do is push your head into my head, so be it. Because I'm coming up from under you. And then I'm going to hurt you really badly just so that you don't hurt me. Understand a few things. If you're good at grappling, you're going to be fairly decent at BJJ. So you're going to be easier to rotate. If you're good at wrestling, you're going to be very good at BJJ because you're going to be able to adapt, and rotate with that shit. I'm not real good at grappling, not anymore, but I'm fair from the jiu-jitsu that I learned before jiu-jitsu went to ground fighting and Brazilian jiu-jitsu came out of that shit. The jiu-jitsu I learned was a bunch of arm bars and grapples. Is it effective now? Yeah, if I can keep a hold of your ass. But if you all oiled up and greased up, I can't do shit to you, and sweat. You gotta learn how to deal with that shit. That's why they have gi and no gi for BJJ. In the military, we didn't have gis. We had our freaking damn blouses. That was it. We weren't allowed to take the motherfuckers off, and Georgia is hot. I understand that Georgia is hot. So when we get put on the ground or whatever, they teach us how to spin on our back and put people in the arm bar and all that shit. Okay, cool. Here's the problem with reality. The guy I was with was stronger than me. I can put him in an arm bar because he could just pick me up and body slam me on my back. He probably can body slam me 3 or 4 times. Give me the strength, But what's to stop him? Because if I'm locking my arm and I'm trying to pull his shit, and I got it under, I got his arm hooked under here, so I'm trying to lock it in, and I'm holding it. And he's bigger than me. He's like 6'6". He's going to pick me up, drop me a couple of times. Or he's going to lock his arm. Now I got to work extra hard with my leg. I got to kick his arm free so I can put his arm in the arm bar. He's not going to let that shit happen. No one's going to let that shit happen, Now, as far as going against somebody with BJJ, and you better get out of my shoe. The Wasp. If I'm fighting somebody with BJJ, and I know that I'm going to get my ass kicked, I'm not going to let them take me to the ground. If they're going to either go for a single leg or a double leg. There's no other way they can really take you down with BJJ other than a fucking spear. So they're either going to edge the shit out of you, or they're going to go for one leg or the other. So, to be on the safe side, if they go for this leg, I'm grabbing the back of their head, and I'm feeding them a knee. Is it unsportsmanlike conduct? Yes, it is. Now ask me, do I care? No, I do not. Because I don't have a ground game. I'm not going to let you get me on the ground. If I can't stop you when we go to the ground, I'm going to try to put you in a guillotine, or I'm going to try to roll your ass off so I can get on top. And then I'm going to start banging the shit out of you. I'm not going to sit here and try to keep letting you do whatever the hell you're doing. I'm not going to grapple with you all goddamn day. I'm going to break your fucking nose. Because that's what I got to do to get you the hell off. BJJ is a great martial art for everybody except for me. Now, if you're doing BJJ, I got nothing against you. I just don't like that martial art. But I also know 2 things a lot of people are not telling y'all about fighting. Understand this shit, and you better unclog your ears, get your head out of your ass, and pay attention. This might be the most important thing that I tell you in your lifetime. 2 things. First, most real fights don't last more than 3 to 5 minutes. Out here. In the professional setting, you have rules, and you're going to be giving breaks, take water, spit it out, the blood, whatever. You got rules for that shit. Out here in the streets, none of that shit matters. 2, second most important thing. If you are not well-rounded, you will get pounded. Alright? There was a 3rd thing, but I forgot what the hell it was. If it comes back, I'll let you know. But, I remember now, which should have actually been 2. Not all fights go to the ground. So 1, be well-rounded. 2, not all fights go to the ground. And 3, most fights don't last more than 2 to 5 minutes when it's not in a controlled environment. Alright? Those are 3 things that you need to take to heart. Again, you can put that in any order because I just re-fucked the order all up. But we'll try it again. 1, most fights don't last more than 2 to 5 minutes. Real fights. Not in controlled environments, not in the UFC, not in the wrestling ring. That shit usually lasts 2 to 5. 2, not all fights go to the ground. So don't think that taking someone to the ground is the only option you have. And I forgot the 3rd one again. Be well-rounded. No, that wasn't it. See how easy it is to be distracted? Okay. So, again, not all fights go to the ground. I'm fucking up big time, y'all. Not all fights go to the ground. Most fights only last 2 to 5 minutes. And Whatever the fuck the other one was, we'll have to rewind the tape. Anyway, the most important thing is that you need to be well-rounded. You need to be well-rounded. I think it was like fights don't last more than 3 to 5 minutes. Anyway, rewatch the bitch and remember what the fuck I said. Because now I'm distracted myself because it's shit flying around over there. Anyhow, the whole bottom line is this. You need to spar with other people of all sizes. You need to make sure that when the school closes, you go home and you train. You have to get that training in. I know it's going to be difficult. And like I said, if you can't put but 2 minutes in, that's 2 extra minutes from doing an hour of training. My Instagram done like totally shut down or something. I don't know what the hell is happening here. We're not going to touch that. We're going to finish this live and then we're going to fix that. I don't know what's going on, so if you're from Instagram and you're here, you can tell me what happened, because I don't know. But anyway, Instagram might have just banned me, y'all. That's fantastic. Anyway, bottom line, you're going to get into a fight at some point in your life. If it's just a verbal altercation, great, because y'all can just shake hands, agree to disagree, and walk your separate ways. If it's a physical altercation, this is important. You're going to get physical. I understand you're going to get hit, and you're also going to hit somebody else. Now, the question is, which one of y'all going to get back up first? If you haven't had a lot of fights, you haven't been in a lot of fucking scuffles where you get hit in the face a couple times, you're not going to know if you can take a hit to the face until you get hit. They're not teaching you that on social media, so it honors me to be the first person to tell you, hey, you're going to get hit in the face. It's going to fucking hurt. It might hurt a lot. You might not feel that shit till tomorrow. Adrenaline is a powerful thing. But you're still going to feel it eventually. I'm not going to let you take me to the ground if you know BJJ. I'm sorry. If you're going to spar with me and you want to do BJJ, I'll roll with you as long as we're sparring. But if we're about to get serious, you can hang that shit up. You're not going to the ground with me. Because again, the first time you go for a single or a double, you're going to catch a knee to the face. Do I give a fuck? Nah, you want to get serious, I'm going to be serious too. It is very well for you to also learn striking martial arts. A lot of people, 95% of the world right now is relying on BJJ. 95%. It is a good martial art. I'm not taking anything from it. It's not for me. It's a great martial art. But there's just one problem. Not all fights go to the ground. If the fight don't go to the ground, or if the person you are fighting ain't dumb enough to like kick your weapons while you're on your back, then, you know, they get what they ask for. But if you're on your back and you're in the crawling position, or the crab, I like to call it the crab, I'm not going to lay on this ground, but if you're on the back and you're laying on your back and you're waiting and you're rotating and you're spinning in a circle, I just got to wait for you to get tired. I'm going to kick the thighs, I'm going to kick the hips, I'm going to kick your femurs, I'm going to kick a fucking knee. I'm not getting anywhere where you can grab me. All right? You're going to have to scramble to grab me. And if you're already laying on your back, my fight's halfway won, because you got to get up to get me. You like, all right, we're gonna roll. All right, are we rolling, or are you trying to fucking fight? Because if you're trying to fucking fight me, I can get on that goddamn ground with you. I'm not stupid. And don't let people goat your ass into that shit. And if they're on the crab position, you know, round kicks, front stomps, shit that you can do damage with them. Your target, let me get far enough back so everybody can see. Their legs, their knees, they're on their back. Their ribs, they're gonna be blocking. So they're going to be like this. They're going to be crawling all over the back. You know, cool beans. Knowing where to strike somebody is equally important. So knowing how to strike, they're on their back. All right? First, don't fall into, I'm going to go in like this and try to do grappling. Because if you try to throw a punch, they're going to grab you. They're going to pull you in, arm bar the shit out of you. Or they're going to put you in the guillotine. They're going to put you in something because they're on their back. And your dumb ass came down on top of them. Coming down on top of them is a bad make. All right, especially if you don't have any BJJ skills, if you have any ground game, you have any grappling skills, you're going to be fucked up. All right? Like I said, BJJ is okay for everybody except me. And I've been training since I got out of the Army. I've been constantly trying to figure out ways to make sure that if I have to deal with somebody that does BJJ, that they're not going to get me on the fucking ground. All right? Because I ain't got no ground game. I know where my flaws lie in my skills. I know I don't have any ground game. Or at least not in the way of everyone else. However, there are some kung fu skills where I can use them while I'm on the ground. But the question is, am I good enough to get past your shit to make sure that this shit is effective? And see, that's the only thing that you really have to worry about is yourself in fights. You got to know if your skills is good enough. And you ain't gonna know if you ain't been in a lot of goddamn fights. But also, if you only know 2 or 3 martial arts and ain't none of them BJJ, and you don't have any grappling or any wrestling skills or any of that training, you're gonna have a fucking problem. I'm not saying you can't win. I'm just saying you're gonna have a fucking problem. Because if I'm going against the world's top BJJ guy, he gets on the ground, and I can't get into his defenses with the shit that I just said, I'm the one with the problem. Because he can block me all day. Remember earlier I talked about range. If he's 6'6", I got to work around his long-ass legs or his long-ass arms. And he's on his back, turtle crawling. You know, he's on his back. He's spinning around like Michelangelo. So I got to work with that shit. I can't jump up and try to Superman punch him down because his legs are so long. He's just going to put his legs up and rocket my ass right back off. You know, you have to live in the reality when it comes to fights. The reality of me jumping on a 6'6" guy who's laying on his back is highly unlikely. You know, because it's more likely when I get in the air, he's going to stick his fucking feet up, man. It's not going to be that damn difficult for me to land my belly on his feet and for him to shoot my ass back off. And wherever the fuck I land, if he's fast enough to get up and take my ass out, then that's what's going to fucking happen. He's literally going to get up and take my ass, slam the fuck out. And why is that? Because my dumb ass thought that I knew something, and I jumped up. He's 6'6", he's got longer legs. Why am I jumping up trying to punch down? Gravity is nobody's friend. He's already on his back, so he's got the downfall advantage anyway. But I don't have BJJ skills to go with his BJJ. But see, if I'm not smart enough to not let him go to the ground in the first goddamn place, that's my ass whooping that I deserve. So if we get to fight and I see him drop, you know, I can just walk away. He on his back, ain't no need to fight the motherfucker. But some people don't know how to walk away from fights. It's easy to goat people in. I used to be that way, but you can still goat an idiot into a fight. Hell, you can goat a smart person into a fight if you hit their pride, you know, and pride does come from a fall. So, you know, use your brain, man. This guy's already on his back and he knows BJJ. He's waiting to lower your ass in. Pick up a rock and throw it at his ass. You know? Yes, there's no honor in that. Ask me if I give a shit when I'm still breathing and he's not. Alright? You have to understand how fights work. You literally have to understand how fights work. And a lot of people will teach you what they want you to know, but they won't teach you what you fucking need to know. And that's like all over social media. And I'm going to get a lot of smoke from Martial Talk. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Because the motherfuckers ain't fighting in the streets when they're on these damn videos and they're showing you in the dojo. I can't even get somebody to volunteer for me to show you shit. So you don't have to believe me. Just understand this. Fighting experience is what makes you. Alright? Anybody can go to a dojo. Doesn't mean you can beat everybody's ass when you leave that motherfucker. Which again goes back to training doesn't stop when the dojo closes. You put an hour in at school, put an hour in at home. If you don't have that hour, put in 5 minutes. Put in 10 minutes. I know you're tired. I know you have to work tomorrow. Hey, martial arts is my life. It's the only damn thing I know. And the fact that nobody knows who I am, that's really not my fault. That's just a victim of circumstance because of shit and how the world works. No, I couldn't get into the UFC when I was 19 years old. They wouldn't let me get in. They didn't have a 115-pound class. I go to the Army, I become 145. In 2010, they start having the 115-pound class. So again, that's not my fault. That's just the way the system is. There's like these crazy people that's going up for power slap. Good luck with that. Because that shit can cause concussions and brain damage. And if that's what you want to do with your life, I'm not going to step in the way. I'm just going to love watching you get the taste slapped out your mouth a couple of times and bust somersaults and shit. Hey, it is what it is. But you got to understand, people are where they are because opportunities were presented. There's never been an opportunity given to me to be seen like I'm being seen on TikTok and YouTube. And granted, I got a bigger following on TikTok than I have on YouTube. Okay, cool. It's just that opportunities just aren't doing. People aren't seeing my videos. It's fine. If I get mad about it and do nothing, then nothing's going to happen. If I get mad about it and do something, something's going to happen. All I can do is beg for you to go watch the video. I can't make you. I can't grab you by the back of your neck and make you sit there and watch it. I'm not that powerful. No. All I can do is ask you to please watch it. If you don't want to watch it, hey, who the hell am I? I'm not Jesus. I can't get mad because you don't want to watch the video. But what I will say is I hope that I teach you something in the videos that you watch. Because the reality of fighting is that, in all honesty, there's only survivors. There are no real winners unless you're in a controlled environment. If you're in a dojo, if you're in a taekwondo tournament, if you're in the UFC, the only reason why there are winners is because you have rules. and you cannot hit people in the throat. You know, you can put knee on belly, but you can't hit them in the throat. You know, because that's an instant lethal ordinance thing, and you're not supposed to do that. You know, now in the streets, I have no fucks to give. I'm 5'3". The only thing I got to worry about is how am I gonna stop you when you 6'4"? How am I gonna stop you when you 6'8"? How am I gonna stop you when you 6'2"? How am I gonna stop you when you 5'2"? Why? Because there's no rules out here. And you're not giving a damn if I have a pretty smile. Because you're trying to rearrange that shit. Well, newsflash for you. I'm thinking the same damn thing. If I can rearrange your dental work, I'm good. You know? And if I don't have to rearrange your dental work, it works better for me. Because if I can collapse your windpipe, fight's done. Doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter how strong you are. If you can't breathe, you ain't hurting nobody. You ain't hurting nobody. And when I talk about lethal ordinance, that's what I'm talking about. Hitting someone here, stopping the breath, hitting someone here, stopping the breath. Now the trick to that is I have to get through your defenses. I have to be able to control your range and my range. And if you don't understand that, this is as long as my leg goes out. That's it. So if your legs are longer, I need to be able to make sure that the back of my leg can either hit one of your ankles or your calves when you throw a front kick. So if you throw a front kick and I push that bitch out the way and send you over here, I just changed the range. Now I can karate come in, I can kung fu grab and break some shit. It's just gonna be on how I control the range. I'm not just controlling my range, I'm controlling your range. I'm controlling the range of the entire fucking fight. And I have to because I'm smaller, which means I have to work harder to do the shit. Sorry, dog. To do the shit that I need to do to make sure that I get to go home when the fight's over without having to swing by the hospital. You know, this is how fights work. Fights are not pretty. They're not like in the movies where everything looks awesome. And granted, if y'all want to give me a movie and a job, I'll take it. But at that same time, you got to understand what you can use and what you can't use. In a regular fight, jab, jab, hook, hook, or haymakers, if that's what you want to call them, uppercuts, uppercuts, you can do that. Knees, fronts, elbows. That's it. You ain't doing none of this shit. No one's giving you the chance. No one. I don't give a damn what anybody says. You're not doing this shit. They're too easy for people to get out of the way. Now, if you get them... No. It does not fall. Lotto! Jesus Christ. Sorry. The puppy that we inherited. Anyway, I'm gonna have to end the live now. But before I go, understand this shit. If you're gonna watch social media, make sure you pay attention. If you're gonna do what they say on social media, do it responsibly. Which is why I always tell people, do not attempt to do the shit that you see me doing. Because it can get you hurt. Especially when I do bound fighting. And with these nunchucks, understand, you control the range of this. You got short range, so that means that the person's probably gotten too close. You got mid-range. You got long range. Long range is the least grippy because it's so far at the end. But the problem with that is you don't have the control and the power that you do here. Alright, so here, I'm at the top. Move to the middle. It's a little different. I gotta try to find the middle. You understand how this works? I'm in the middle. Now I'm at the end. See, there's no real control there. You know, you gotta understand how this shit works. And now with your nunchucks, so we can end it on a peaceful note. You have yay so many strikes. From this position, that way, that way, that way. Both arms. But your attacks are only basically going to go side to side, up and down, and then you're going to cut in angles. So diagonal to the right, diagonal to the left, that kind of shit. That's it. All of this shit here, get out of my shoe. Damn wasp. Go talk to Ant-Man. The only different thing here is that, you know, you're not going to be doing this when a fight comes down. You're not. You have this bitch at the ready, guys running at you, boom, boom. That should do it. These are practice chucks. Still dangerous in my hands, not so dangerous in novice hands. But understand that a novice is just learning. A person like me that's been doing this since I was like 8 years old, I know how I'm going to strike you. And if we're fighting for real, once I get these up here, the weapon is loaded. There is no other choice. I'm not going to bring it down and do this because it was already in a striking position. So come across, go that way, come up. You know, I'm not going to sit here and play with you. Now, in the event that you're coming at me and you're coming at me fast and I sidestep, bam! I got to get in. These are close-quartered weapons. They are not for freaking everything that you see on TV. Close-quartered weapons. You're not going to always have a chance to use those damn things, and you're not going to be, no. Also, if you do have to combat somebody who has that, and if they are nice enough to let you get your shirt off, because in real life, they're not going to let you get your shirt off. But, see how this shirt is? You're going to tie a knot in the bottom. So, it's going to be a loose knot for me so I can get my shirt back on. But this is your ball and chain. It's the same effect as a nunchuck. Now, if it's soaked, sopping wet, it'd be easier to make the knot and get the knot as close to the bottom as possible so that you can have range. And again, it's a nunchuck. It's defensible, but it's also a bad make if you're going against somebody who knows a little bit more about the weapon that you are using than you do. Which again, another dark element that the people in social media forget to tell you that, you know, if you don't know what you're doing with nunchucks and you come across somebody who does know what they're doing with nunchucks, they're going to end your shit. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be great. It's going to be a sorry day for you, and you're going to have to go to the hospital. And you're going to have your dental work rearranged. Or, worse than that, you have to go to the hospital because you could be comatose. Understand that a sharp blow to the head with a nunchuck or any instrument or tool of mass destruction can unalive you without even trying. Which is again why I said the human body will always be the world's most dangerous weapon. Not because it has something in my hand, but because I have the skills that I don't need anything in my hand or my feet. So, basics, no. Left jab, right jab. Left cross, right cross. Or haymakers, if that's what you want to call them. Uppercut, uppercut. Knee to the face, elbow to the face. Front kick. That's it. You know, you might do the side kick. Boom. Or in that case, that was a tornado side kick from Taekwondo style versus a side kick from martial arts, karate, or kicking in general always changes depending on your style. So you have your stepping side kick, boom, where your foot stays, and you have your side kick with the hook, which is Taekwondo, and you'll see them practice this shit all the time. You know, so it's basically a side kick with a hook. You know, now you can use what I showed you earlier. You know, you can use that, but understand this. When I'm right here, I'm vulnerable. Understand. So when I make this spinning back kick, you will see that I am vulnerable. And if you duck that shit, and I'm here and I go, and you duck it, if I'm not fast enough to make that rotation, I'm done. Because you can push me back in the back, you can kick me in the back. You know, I have to do something to set you up for that shit. Now, again, if I'm a good fighter, I really don't need that shit. But to make it effective, let's say I kick you and you take the hit, you know, boom, I'm here, I pivot, boom, now I got you. But let's say kick at you, you block it. This foot goes down, and I spin around, and you catch me under, body slam. No, you didn't body slam me. You can slam me on my face, you can slam me on my back. Doesn't matter, I'm still gonna get slammed, because if you caught me and my leg's up here, and you just pick me up, happens all the time. You do not need a spinning back kick of any way, shape, or form unless it's the last thing you got. But to get there, you need to have that person set, and they need to be messed up enough that you can use it effectively. Effective kicks that you are going to be able to use while you're in a fight, front kicks, boom. Those are going to be effective. Crescent kicks, inside to outside, outside to inside. That's it. Because everything else, as cool as it may be, you might not get the chance to use them. Understand, if I do an outside to inside kick and then I follow through, or if I miss this kick, it leaves me open to subjections of having my ass whooped. Alright? Things they need to teach you when you're watching these martial art videos. I'm going to do an outside to inside crescent kick. Let's say you do a Shaolin lean. So, if I miss this kick, and you lean back, when I'm here, if I don't do something real quick, or something in range, and you just lean back, and I didn't do anything, you just lean back like this, and I just do the outside to inside crescent kick. You lean back or you step back. When you step forward, my back's turned because I land right here. I did the kick, I land right here. You're right there, my back's turned, boom. I'm done. You just kicked me in the back. You probably broke the son of a bitch. If you didn't break it, you launched me forward, and God only knows what the hell I'm going to hit. Understand how fights work. You need to use combos that are going to be effective and usable versus combos that you see in the movies that might get you killed. Alright? And you can use some of them combos if you've been training. And I mean training. I don't mean, I go to the dojo 5 nights a week. I come home, I sit down and I Netflix. I don't do anything. I come home, I wash, but I don't train after. You gotta put that fucking training in. You have to. And I'm gonna try to go live again tomorrow because there's some stuff going on at the house. And if anybody wants to be in there, they can do that. Hello, brother Kenny Powers, and hello, brother Dale. But you know, due to the things that's happening and with these wasps and shit flying around my shoes, I need to get some shit done. But I thank you guys very much. You guys can go to Kung Fu Havoc #2 to see what you missed, and that'll be that right there. And I love you guys. Be seeing you. And now for everybody here on YouTube, understand quite a few things. You know, I'm not doing this to make sure that you are just watching the video. Alright? If you're watching, I'm grateful. I am exceptionally grateful. But understand, I'm hoping that you learn something as we go. Because if I'm not teaching you, then I'm hurting you more than I'm helping you. And I don't want to be held responsible for hurting you when I'm trying to help you. There's a big goddamn difference that when you get on social media and you see somebody doing some shit and they don't explain what the fuck they're doing. Like I said, this outside to inside crescent kick. Boom! From here, you see where I'm at now? This is much better than what I did a second ago. Because this is what I did a second ago. And it put me all the way where my back is exposed. My back is exposed to you, I'm dead. Because I wasn't thinking all the way through. Especially if I missed that crescent kick. If I straight did this, and you duck and I land here, fight's yours. Because my back just got turned to you. Now, if you're coming at me, and I do it, it's a different ball game because you're coming at me. But I'm coming at you with that crescent kick. And if I miss that sumbitch and I land in the wrong position, I'm done. So let's try it again with what I should do instead of what I did. So I land the crescent kick, boom, I stopped it short right here. So I can step in, boom, and throw a side kick. And so we'll do it from this angle so that you can see it. Now I'm gonna land, I'm gonna miss the kick, but I'm gonna have a return kick for it. So boom, I stop short, boom. Because if I go all the way, and you see where my back is, whoever's right there, I belong to them now. Simple as that. let me thank you guys for watching. Let me pack up this stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. It's Kung Fu Havoc #2. I greatly appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for this hour of your time. I will probably make more videos after I get out of the shower tonight. I enjoyed the con. I might show some pictures here. I don't know. I'm not going to promise you anything. But I had fun. Just the hotel sucked. Thank you guys for watching. Be seeing you.